What a beautiful day it has been here in Berkeley, California. We are at Edwards Stadium, and we are set to go now in the men's 200 meters. The American mark belonging to Mike Marsh, the collegiate record. Joe DeLoach set in 88, and look at that meet record. It has stood since 1978, 20.06. Who did it? Clancy Edwards. We will be watching lane 3, 4, and 5. George Page, the freshman from Arizona State. Tony Miller, the senior from UCLA. And Jeff Lanes, another senior from Southern California, is in lanes 4 and 5, respectively. And I think, right, that's the fellow they're all going to be chasing.
Well, there's no question. He's already won the 100 meters earlier from Tony Miller, the man who beat him last year. And he would love to complete the double here, reversing the order of last year's races in both the 100 and 200, and he looked very good, very confident, and his technique held together nicely in the 100 meters. Tony Miller looking as good as he has all year long, just on his inside in lane 4. He is the defending champion and would have loved to at least take one of the 2 sprint races here at the Pac-10s. And George Page from Arizona State, just a freshman, but boy, one of those super freshman sprinters from Arizona State that we'll be looking at in the years to come.
Jeff Lanes with the best time in the Pac-10 conference this year, 20.76. Tony Miller, 20.88, both provisional NCAA qualifiers. Lanes out quickly in lane 5. Likewise, Miller in lane 4. And boy, Miller is really getting a great start.
Miller is burning the turn. Now, will he have enough left for the straightaway? It's Miller in first with Lanes right next to him.
And look at Lanes shoot by. It's Lanes and Miller as they go down the backstretch. Jeff Lanes saw Miller pull up on him, took a lead, and said, I'll have none of that.
An impressive performance by Jeff Lanes. He kept his cool. Sprinters are so touchy. Sometimes when you go by somebody like that, they just give up. But Jeff Lanes kept his head together, and that's a great scene. SC and UCLA, some of the strongest rivals there are in college sports. A man who's just handed over his title to a man he beat last year, and Jeff Lanes wins the double here at the Pac-10 in the 100 and 200. Look at the way that Tony Miller runs this turn. He's able to see Jeff Lanes to his right, and Miller runs a turn like an Olympic sprinter and comes off of the turn into the straightaway ahead of Lanes by the slightest of margins. But Jeff Lanes just says, I don't think so, starts lifting his knees, lifting his arms. Tony Miller starts to lose it a little bit here and ends up second. Jeff Lanes taking the measure. Look at this pass. In the space of about 10 meters, he just makes up the distance and then just walks past Tony Miller like he's standing still. That's got to be debilitating psychologically. And look at Tony Miller's technique fall apart as soon as Jeff Lanes does that. And once again, we have Jeff Lanes down on the infield. And Jeff, you look just as confident in the 200 as you did the 100. What were you thinking when Tony Miller burned the turn right next to you and was leading off of the turn into the straightaway?
Well, Tony Miller, he ran an excellent turn. I knew that he was going to be in front of me. So what I did was just relax and concentrate on my strength and my muscle fatigue.
Isn't it difficult to keep your concentration in a race like the 200 when you see a guy just go by you like that? Isn't it difficult to keep your technique together as well as you did?
Yes, it's very difficult, but there's things you have to do if you want to win, and sometimes you have to go about doing it. And I just did it, and it was successful.
Congratulations, you reversed the order in both the 100 and 200 from 1992. You got a lot to be proud of, Jeff Lanes.
Yes.
Jeff Lanes doubling up today. He is now a two-time 1993 Pac-10 champion. His time, 20.9. Back with more from Northern California. Welcome back to Edwards Stadium as we begin to wrap up this 1993 Pac-10 Track and Field Championship. After 18 of the 19 women's events, it is UCLA with a commanding lead over Oregon and Arizona State. Perhaps the only surprise there, Dwight, is that the Lady Sun Devils are so far to the rear.
Well, you know, we talked about in the opening that they really should run away with this, but they have had an absolutely disastrous meet here at the Pac-10s. And UCLA has had the opposite. They've had a fabulous meet. And even if Arizona State were to win this going away, there's just no way that they can crawl into the top three, in the top two.
Now the final women's event of the day is the women's 4x400-meter relay. The USA record 3:15.51, the collegiate mark set by Florida last year. And just take a look at this field. We will be watching lanes 4 and 5. The Sun Devils of Arizona State, their first leg will be run by Shanika Campbell. And right next door, UCLA's Andrea Lee will line up. It should be between the Bruins and the Sun Devils.
You know, there was a chance that this meet could come down to this race for a while, but with Arizona State's disastrous showing in the 100, in the 400, and the 400 hurdles where they expected to get a lot of points, the only place where they really came through was in the 800 where they swept the top 3 places. They won the 1500, but UCLA is just cruising now. They're going to win on both the men's and women's side, and Arizona State's going to have to lick their wounds to get ready for the NCAAs, where they're favored to take second place behind Louisiana State.
UCLA running in lane 5, Andrea Lee. She missed the last 2 outdoor Pac-10 championships because of hamstring injuries. And it is now out in lane 7 and lane 8, Washington State's Tanya Smith and Stanford's Christy Boyd.
Now they win their first full turn in the second lane, in lanes, then break for the pole after the full turn. So we'll get a real good chance to see, but Arizona State was leading at this exchange.
And now Cal out in lane 8. Rosalind Mack will run the second leg, but Arizona State way out in front. Lottie Akinrimi Campbell, a split 53.4.
For Arizona State, this is really for pride. If they can at least win the closing relay and make the points not look so spread out, then that'll be a little bit of help. Leonard Braxton, their new head coach, has got to be very upset with the way that this meet has unfolded for the Lady Sun Devils, and they'll be doing some fine-tuning between now and the NCAA championships in New Orleans in 2 weeks.
Well, Arizona State's 1600-meter relay team had by far the best time here in 93, 3:30.43. And Lottie Akinrimi, the sophomore, one of the twins out of Kiawa, Nigeria, is running away. And there's the exchange now to Janice Nichols. Janice, a freshman from Bakersfield. She reminds so many people right down at Arizona State of the great Micelle Malone.
No question about that. And if she can come up and run the type of times that Micelle ran, she was the American indoor record holder at 400 meters for a time. Akinrimi split 53.8, and I'd say, Phil, right now the difference between Arizona State in first and UCLA in third is about the difference in their conference times this year, about 3 seconds. Unless something disastrous happens, Arizona State should win this final relay easily, and UCLA, even though they're fighting off Oregon, UCLA should finish second.
That's Erin Blunt of UCLA running second. She won the 400-meter hurdles, but right now this race belongs to Arizona State. Janice Nichols running the third leg as Tayo Akinrimi, Lottie's twin sister, gets set to take the baton and try and run the Lady Sun Devils to victory.
UCLA should be able to maintain this lead with Camille Noel on the anchor. For Nichols, 53.2, an outstanding relay carry, and they're averaging about 53.4, all of them within 6/10 of a second on their relay carry. So a well-disciplined relay team has the Arizona State Sun Devils, Lady Sun Devils, but I think that they expected this to be the crowning race for them. I don't think they even expected that they would have to win this race to win the team title at the conference.
For UCLA, Camille Noel, you remember that name. She was a part of the Canadian Olympic team that finished 4th in Barcelona. She is trying to make up ground for UCLA, and while she does, she'll come nowhere close to knocking off Arizona State. The team of Shanika Campbell, Lottie Akinrimi, Janice Nichols, and Tayo Akinrimi wins the women's 4x4.
UCLA finishing second and Oregon finishing third. So that just adds to their point totals. UCLA will finish with over 130 points. UCLA in the 120-point range, and Arizona State just breaking 100.
Arizona State nowhere close to their season best. They ran just as fast as they had to. Winding things down here at the Pac-10 Championships in Berkeley, California. Want to update you on the men's triple jump. Charles Rogers had 4 meets this season where he jumped over 52 feet. Today, he was trying for the Pac-10 title to successfully defend the crown he won a year ago in Eugene.
Right, he won in 1992 in Eugene, and actually in the 4th round, which we're looking at now, he was not leading at this point in time, but he realized that he needed to put the pedal to the metal, and here he executes those phases. He knew he had a good one, and on his 4th jump, 51 feet 10 inches, not a great mark, but we don't have terrific wind conditions here. He wins it over Jamal Elmage and Devin Hosey. 51-10, a defending champion for Charles Rogers, and just another one of those UCLA Bruins who has had a great meet here at the Pac-10s.
After 18 events in the men's competition, it's UCLA. 75 points yesterday, 75 more today. Head coach Bob Larson has to be all smiles.
This was just a runaway, and I don't think that any of us saw this big a victory coming from the UCLA Bruins. We knew they were strong, but not that strong.
Up next, it's the men's 4x400-meter relay. The United States record 2:55.74. The collegiate mark and the meet record both belonging to UCLA. That meet record set just a year ago. The teams to watch out in lane number 6, the University of Southern California with their best time in the conference, 3:06.45. And right alongside them, UCLA. Well, what else is new? They've battled for the last 2 days. Why not wrap it up with the Bruins and Trojans going head-to-head?
The thing that's different this year, Phil, is that the 2 times that they've run, USC has a provisional qualifier for the 4x4 relay for the NCAAs. UCLA does not even have a provisional. That's unusual for not 2 or 3 at least Pac-10 teams to be in the NCAA championships and have times close to 3 minutes flat is very, very unusual. It shows that the baton has been passed to other conferences in the 400 meters in 1993.
For Southern California, the leadoff leg will be run by Marcus Carter, and for UCLA, there he is right there. It is Michael Williams, the team of Williams, Mike Terry, Tim Shields, and Derek Baker, and with them will go UCLA's hopes of an NCAA qualifying mark.
I don't expect that we'll see that out of this particular group. They've got to do some big improving on their time this year. They got to get down to the 3:03 area in order to assure themselves of getting to the NCAA championships. And what's more important is they have no pressure on them in this particular race because the team title, the team battle has been decided long ago. They may actually double the points on the second place team when all is said and done.
Marcus Carter for Southern California out in lane 6. SC, the defending Pac-10 champions a year ago. It was a team of Travis Hanna, Curtis Conway, Canaday, and Quincy Watts in a time of 3:04.74. Boy, what a relay that was a year ago at Hayward Field in Eugene. Boy, just look at Marcus Carter in lane 6.
What a phenomenal team that was.
Yes.
Almost as good a team as UCLA had a number of years ago when they set the collegiate record. Right now, UCLA out there all by themselves in lane 7. Michael Williams running a very strong leg here. Now when they pass off once again, like the women, they'll be running the next full turn in lanes. Then they will break to the inside. And Mike Terry, their half-miler, running the second leg for the Bruins.
A good pass between Williams and Terry, and again the Bruins in lane 7. are making it look easy, but in lane 6, Paul Green is beginning to make up some distance on Terry.
Green was second in the 400 meters earlier today, and he's going to try and bring the Trojans back into this race. As you said earlier, USC has the better time on the year by almost 2 seconds over the Bruins, so Paul Green's going to have to do a job here.
Awaiting the baton for UCLA is Tim Shields. And he will receive the pass first. Terry of UCLA reaches out. Shields is on his way. The exchange is good. And there goes Tim Shields. And right on his heels is Dustin James of Southern California.
Paul Green ran a great leg for USC in second. Unofficially 46.8. It looked better than that. But of course, the USC's Marcus Carter only ran 49.4 to open. So that's a very weak opening leg as we now see Dustin James taking over from Tim Shields. And guess who's running the anchor leg for the Trojans? Jeff Lanes, as if he hasn't worked enough today, anchoring the Trojans to a second place tie in the 4x100, where they bring him from fifth to tie for second. He wins the 100 and the 200, and now he will be able to triple, just like Martin Keno. He will get 3 championships today if he can bring his Trojans home.
Another good exchange, and there goes Jeff Lanes, and Derek Baker is right on his heels. Look at Baker putting up on his right shoulder. James ran a leg of 46.7. Lanes trying to hold off Derek Baker. And now Baker down the backstretch. Blows by James.
And remember, Derek Baker won the Open 400 and probably has not had as much abuse to his body today as has Jeff Lanes. Baker won the long jump yesterday, the 400 today, so he is trying to triple. 2 men trying to triple in the same race.
Off the final turn, the crowd comes to its feet, and back comes Lanes. Lanes trying to pull up on his shoulder. It's Lanes and Baker. Baker, Lanes. Jeff Lanes charging to the finish line. Who's it going to be?
Derek Baker. Lanes misjudged the finish line, and it looks like Derek Baker leads the UCLA Bruins, and like everything else, Phil, everything has gone towards UCLA. They come in with a time almost 2 seconds slower than USC. They both changed their orders, they changed their personnel, and UCLA and Derek Baker hold off USC and Jeff Lanes to win the final event of these Pac-10 championships, maybe the best Pac-10 championships that the UCLA Bruins have ever contested, as the team flows onto the track. Look at this, stride for stride, Lanes and Baker. Right there, Lanes looks to have a little bit of an edge, coming right up to the finish line, but he starts to lean early, loses it, and Derek Baker comes across the line first as Lanes hits the track, and everything has gone right for the Bruins. Now, can they do it 2 weeks from now in New Orleans? That is the question.
For the second consecutive year, that is the site of these Pac-10 championships. UCLA dominant.
It was an absolutely sensational afternoon here in Berkeley, California, as the 1993 Pac-10 Track and Field Championships went down. Martin Keno, who just 2 hours ago won the 1,500 meters, came back and successfully tripled, winning the steeplechase yesterday, and today, Dwight, he captured the 5,000.
Well, it's a good thing it wasn't a 5,010-meter race, but after 3 events, you could at least excuse him. 14:10.85, but boy, it's so tough to do that triple. And UCLA Bruins John Godina just puts the exclamation point on the Bruins 2-day trek to the Northern California area. He doubles not only in the shot, but in the discus, winning there. He had been second or third last year at the 92 Pac-10s. Just dominant are these UCLA Bruins. It'll be interesting to see what happens in New Orleans. John Godina, the champion, at 198 feet, and he needed almost all of it to beat Adam Setliff. Jamie Presser was third.
In the men's 4x400-meter relay, what a finish it was. UCLA in a time of 3:09.18. SC's Jeff Lane stumbling across the finish line, just misses a chance at winning that one as well. The men's final standings, just take a look. UCLA 170 points, has to be one of the most lopsided Pac-10 men's championships perhaps ever.
No question, UCLA had the meet of the century at this Pac-10 meet. Can they carry it to New Orleans? That's the question.
In the women's 200 meters, the results are in. It was Tayo Okunremi winning it with a time of 23.4. Right behind her, Camille Noel and Latima Jones at 23.7. And in the women's 4x400-meter relay, Arizona State, certainly no surprise there, 332.65.
Yeah, no, but Phil, it was too little too late as they stay in third place as they came in, and we spoke about it earlier. They should have won quite easily, but UCLA had a terrific meet both on the men's and women's side, and they double. Men's and women's winners. And Derek Baker, by the way, a quadruple at this meet. Not a triple, a quadruple for Derek Baker.
It was quite an afternoon here in Berkeley, California, as UCLA successfully defends its men's title, and the Lady Bruins come back and dethrone the Ducks of Oregon. The Bruins of UCLA, both the men and women, they were dominant here in '93. And now for Dwight Stones, I'm Phil Stone. So long from Cal.